Hey, this is Vanessa Marshall, voice of Olga. I grew up on the battlefield. Conflict and victory were my parents. And you're watching the Codec.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Daily here from Nation Fusion, and today on a new episode of the Codec, I am joined by Vanessa Marshall. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Happy to be here. So glad this finally worked out for us.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I know myself, the people that watch the show, are excited to have you here. Unfortunately, my co-hosts could not make it today. I know you are on their list of people they want to interview, and they couldn't be here for various reasons. So it's just me today. But we're going to make the best of it. I've got some questions from the fans and the community. We're going to talk a little bit about voice acting while we go up to there. For the people who may not know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe where you kind of grew up, how you got into voice acting, that kind of thing to get us started.
Sure. I was born in Los Angeles, and I was born into an entertainment family of sorts. My mom was on a show called Knots Landing. She played Valene Ewing, and that was a spinoff of Dallas. And yes, I knew who shot JR before, and I tried to trade ding dongs for the carrots in my lunch for the intel in
Love
fifth
it.
grade. Yeah, you do what you can to get what you need.
Right.
But anyway, and my father was a news reporter, and I ended up going to college back east. Went to Princeton, majored in English, and ended up going to NYU Graduate School for acting. Got a master's in acting. Started doing stand-up comedy, feeling more like I am the genetic amalgamation of those two humans, a
Right.
news reporter, an actress. But what I love about my dad is he sort of filters the world for his viewers. And as a stand-up comic, I was able to theatricalize my observations, and eventually started doing sketch comedy and studying different characters and stuff like that, along the lines of Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
And when I moved back to Los Angeles, I met a voiceover agent who said, you have all these characters that you've done. You might do well in animation. So I went in, I read for the agency. That was in 1997. And I got signed by CESD. I've been with them ever since. And I've continued to take classes and learn and learn and learn as you do with voiceover, because there are obviously many different areas to work in. There's commercials, there's animation, there's video games, and our culture is ever changing, and so it's really important to keep your finger on the pulse
Right.
of sort of the cultural shifts, and knowing how to speak to Americans in a casual, friendly way that we would want to be marketed to, and then forget it all and just be chill and in the moment. So anyway, it's been quite the adventure, and I work in most areas. I have radio stations all over the world. I think I've been in over 130 video game titles,
You have a
voicing those characters. I got to play Wonder Woman in various DC animated films. I've got to play Black Canary in Young Justice, also in Injustice 2 and Black Canary. But I got to sort of embody all these wonderful, iconic female characters, and that has just been an honor. Of course, Hera in Star Wars Rebels
Yep.
was a good fit because I'm a complete Star Wars nerd, so that was awesome. And as you know, I was beyond honored to be a part of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, first as Olga, later as Dr. Strangelove. And currently, I started my own streaming channel at
Oh, wow.
Vanessa Marshall. Yeah, at Vanessa Marshall 1138. This is my streaming room where I
I was going to
chill.
ask you about that. Well,
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. David Hayter was here for his birthday. We played Metal Gear together, and I
okay.
got to sing happy birthday to him. In the pandemic, I was so alone. I'm an only child, and it was a harrowing time for many people. Obviously, I'm grateful to still be alive, but in that isolation, I made a promise to myself that as soon as this is over, if it ever ends, I want to be deeply committed to having fun and paying it forward. and I found my junior year uh, yearbook photo.
Okay.
It is probably one of the most excellent mullets known to mankind. I also have it as my screensaver on my phone
There you
because,
go.
if I ever forget who I really am, it's like, oh, that's right, she's right there. But I mean, I don't know if you can see, there's like peacock eyeshadow. It's like a whole thing. And I ended up helping the Metal Gear community organize MGS Con, which was a fan-funded event in Los
Amazing.
Angeles last year. And it, for me, embodied everything that I want to do right now. And by that, I mean, we raised money for the Wounded Warrior Project. So we got together, we celebrated the franchise, we had fun, and we paid it forward. And that's a model that I hope to do for several video game franchises. But Metal Gear is very near to my heart. And I felt like instant family with all the people who love Konami as much as I do. And I hope to do similar things with the Star Wars IP. I got to play Jan Ors in Knights of the Republic. I played Hera in Squadrons. And so when I go to these live events, what I like to do is play the video games as my character
That's very
with
cool.
fans. Yeah, I had a really cool experience at Fairfax Comic Con. I got to play Black Canary, a girl cosplaying as Black Canary, a woman, whatever, as Black Canary. And I was playing Black Canary. We were both playing it. I was talking smack as Black Canary, and she was doing her best imitation of my voice in the game. And the fans were like losing their minds. It was very meta. But anyway, here at home, every Wednesday, I have a stream called Women Crush Wednesday. And I invite various women in the video games. Debbie Mae West was here 2 weeks
Oh wow.
ago. She'd never seen Meryl. So we played to the part in the game where there's Meryl. She was freaking out. And we raised money for the Wounded Warrior Project. Other weeks I've had, let's see, Gray Delisle was here. We played Marvel versus Capcom. I'm Gamora and she's
Yes.
Captain Marvel. And she played some of her new songs. And oh my God, she's just amazing. And then Susan Eisenberg was here. She's the voice of Wonder Woman in Injustice 2. We played Injustice 2 and we raised money for Black Girls Code. Another time, there's a cosplayer who dresses up as my Star Wars character, Hera Syndulla, and she actually has Down syndrome. Her name is Indy Speeder. And we had a fundraiser here. We didn't actually play video games that day. We just talked about cosplay, about the amount of love that fans have for the franchise, so
Yeah.
much so that we're all brought together by our reverence for that narrative. And we raise money for the National Down Syndrome Society. And last week we raised money for Step Up Women's Network. And I had Amanda Troop here. We played Final Fantasy VII. Anyway, this is going to go on. So I've got Women's Push Wednesday. And then coming up on the 29th, I'm going to be playing Sabak with my Sabak League that I'm a member of. If you
Very
can
nice.
go into the Star Wars zone for a minute, but yeah, I'm going to start playing Star Wars games and have a Star Wars themed night as well. So what I love doing is here locally in my own place doing this live streaming stuff to have fun and pay it forward. And then of course we have Metal Gear Solid or the MGS Con coming up July of this year at the Hilton in Long Beach, and we're going to do it all over again, and it's going to be even better, and there's more space and more guests, and you can meet all the different people who are in the game. There's artists, there's a DJ playing all Konami music. And I mean, if you're a Metal Gear fan, it's literally heaven on earth. And
Right.
that 24-hour period feels like a week. It is so much packed into one day that I mean, a great time is had by all. The actors had no idea how much they had in common with the people who play the game. Some of them got to play the game for the first time. And anyway, so that's what I do in addition to my day job.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That actually clears a couple of questions off the list. We were going to talk to you about your space here. It looks awesome. I see some Star Wars stuff hanging up
Yes,
on the
the
wall.
Mandalorian Mercs gave me a Sabine helmet there. And there's all kinds of gifts here from all kinds of people. I've got a loth cat here.
Very
Um,
cool.
Yeah, there's all kinds of wonderful things, and most of these are gifts. I don't know if you can see up there. That's Hera with a banana. There's a famous gift with a stormtrooper with a banana that's meant to celebrate their aim. And anyway, the artist, his last name is Quick, Stephen Quick. He offered to paint me a portrait of Hera with a banana because I was kind of the space mom and made sure that all the actors were fed during our record sessions. So I would bring
Very
everyone,
nice.
and it was like an inside joke, whatever. Anyway, but everything on this wall has a story. And so this room is just filled with all kinds of love. And I'm grateful to be able to share it and bring fans closer to their favorite voices and bring the voice actors closer to the games that they've given voice to and have never played. So
Right.
they end up having a blast as well. So a good time is had by all. Plus, we get to raise money for different charities. And tomorrow, actually Wednesday this week, I'm having Aaron Fitzgerald come over. We're both in Diablo 4. We're going to
Yes.
play that. And we're going to raise money for the LA House of Ruth, which houses individuals who are suffering from domestic violence. And so that's a worthwhile cause as well.
Right.
So
That's great. And
anyway.
I'm going to be sure to leave a link to that in the description of the video.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah.
anybody that wants to check that out, we'll have a full like link tree for you down there where we put your socials and your Twitch channel, that kind of thing. Are you streaming on Twitch? I'm assuming.
Yes, I'm on
Okay.
Twitch. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, and if you want to check out some of the past streams, I don't know. I think they delete after a certain number of days on the
Hmm.
Twitch channel. But I also have a YouTube page. It's the same as my Instagram handle, Vanessa Marshall 1138, Vanessa Marshall 1138,
Okay.
and yeah, that's how you can find past streams with David Hayter and
That's
Tasia.
awesome.
Tasia Valenza was here. Sniper Wolf was
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
That's great. Those all of those actors and actresses have been on the show before, and they
Oh,
are
nice.
incredible people. And in
Yes.
fact, hearing that you had Debbie Mae West there recently is interesting. We interviewed her. Like I said, the show started like 9 years ago. She was like one of the first people we brought on, and we didn't have the technology at the time to share. Uh, the like video
Right.
like we do today, like in Zoom. I can show you my
Yeah.
computer desktop and all that, and
All
back then we
that.
just didn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
it. So it's interesting to know that we probably should have asked or showed her Meryl way back then, and she just is
Yeah,
finding
well,
out now.
if you want to watch her watching it, it's on
Would
my
love to.
YouTube channel.
Would
Yeah,
love to
go
check that
for
out.
it. Yeah, you'll find it on the YouTube channel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk to you about some of the first credits that you have in gaming for voice acting, and then I want to compare that to kind of where we're at now. So you're credited with being in Baldur's Gate 2, which came out in 2001, Dune 2000, which was in 1998. So you have been voice acting for quite some time. For you, what is like the biggest fundamental change from then till now? Is it more technology? Is it performance wise? Is it this? I know they're doing mocap and stuff now. What for you has kind of been the biggest difference between now and then?
Well, I think the pandemic really changed the way things happen. There's a lot more home recording, a lot more remote sessions. The technology, once it's all put together, seems vastly improved to
Hmm.
me. When I play some of the older Star Wars games versus Jedi Survivor, it's sort of like, what? We've come quite a long way. And I
Yes.
mean, I used to play Madden and NHL hockey and this and that, and PlayStation was great. I think that might have been PlayStation 3 zone-ish. Um, but it just seems like the technology is just miles ahead of where it once was. Um, but the routine is pretty much the same. We get voiceover copy, we audition for it, and then either we now record from home, which was unheard of previously, or we go to a
Right.
voiceover studio and record alone, which is always the case. In some of those older Star Wars games, I couldn't believe it. I was by myself recording all those, and we're on Jedi councils, and I'm going, wow, this is pretty awesome. Jen Hale is Jen Hale's supposed to come do this live stream as well, actually.
Oh,
But
that's awesome. She's great.
yeah, yeah,
She's one of the
amazing.
elusive ones we've not been able to have on the show yet. She's on the list
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can make that happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
But yeah, so when I saw those things on YouTube, I couldn't believe how well it all cut together. But I suppose that's still the same. It just seems like there's more remote recording,
Okay.
and the games themselves are just gorgeous and have such a lifelike experience to them. I mean, you can see that across the Metal Gear
Yes.
side as well.
And
It's
that's
staggering.
that's kind of where we're going with this is some of these games up until Metal Gear they have niche audiences and kind of cult followings. Baldur's Gate in particular really stretches out to the Dungeons and Dragons people
Yes.
and some of your other work, but Metal Gear Solid 2 was really different in the fact that it had a huge kind of like media storm with it, with the character swap between Quentin Flynn and David Hayter.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, being like a newcomer into Metal Gear, right? This is your first Metal Gear, Metal Gear Solid 2. Was there a point where you were like, okay, this is a little bit different than any title that I've been in before, as far as like the fan reaction? Were you getting like tweets and stuff? Because Olga became a like beloved character for many different reasons, and you played her oh so well. And I want to dive into her a little bit, but for what point for you did you kind of see Metal Gear being as big as it is now?
Well, of course, we were dubbing over the Japanese, and that was a unique experience. I remember my Russian accent. I had just come from graduate school, and we had done all these Russian plays, and I had everything very thick and very full like that. They say they cannot understand. They couldn't understand a word I was saying, because it was so thick. And they were like, "Can you please just do the flavor of the accent? Don't go so crazy on it. Yes, I get that you're authentically doing the accent, but can you please just calm down?" I mean, they didn't use those words, but the player had to hear what was happening
Right.
and under it, more likely than not grasp what was happening in the moment and for gameplay. But when it finally came out and I saw the game trailer and the cut scenes, etc., I had never had my name. Uh, I mean, it literally said like Vanessa Marshall, the opening thing. I was like, what? What is this? Like, what? How? I'm so honored. How is this happening right now?
Very movie-esque.
Very cinematic, yes. And that had never happened in any game anywhere because I was more sort of invisible and additional voices, or I don't know. It's more about the game and less about the actor. And in many games prior to that, and the Dune game, I had been there to do a different voice. And as I was saying goodbye to the producers, they were I could hear them saying like, "Oh, we can't find anyone to make this sound. There's just no one who can do this. Blah blah blah. Who are we gonna get?" And I said, "What is, if you don't mind me asking, what is it for?" And they told me, it's sort of for some sort of Jabba the Hutt like character in the thing. And I said to them, "Do you think he would talk like this?" And
Amazing.
I don't know if you can hear that
Yeah.
given what sound is cut out of Zoom, but they were like, can you get back in the booth?"
I love it.
And so that's how that happened, because they were trying to find a dude to make that sound.
Okay.
And I've been freaking out my friends with that voice all the time. Like, I mean, since I was a kid, I'd call and be like, "Is Clayton there?" Or "Daly, is that you?" And you'd be like, "Ah, what is happening?" I'd be like, "It's just me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding."
Right.
But anyway, so I finally was able to utilize that for an actual job. But
That's
that's
awesome.
just a little backstory. But see, that happened as I was saying goodbye to them in person, and now you don't really have those kinds of opportunities
Right.
because you're being directed on Zoom, and things are are slightly different, but that's also a mild change
Right.
and
And you,
accident.
for sure. You mentioned being directed on Zoom. While we're on the topic of Metal Gear, you were
Mhm.
just on a kind of a podcast where you were with Chris Zimmerman and David Hayter, and you guys reacted or kind of redubbed
Yes.
the original like lines from Metal Gear Solid 2. What was that
Yeah.
experience like for you going all the way back there to hear those
Oh,
lines
it
again?
was,
I heard some.
yeah.
We've had Chris on the show before, so I know her personality. I love her to death. We
Yeah.
could see that in there, and it was really awesome to actually see it rather than
Yeah.
us talk about it. How was that for you to go back and hear
It
all
was
those
so
lines?
fun. Well, Chris is my favorite director, and
She's
that
great.
the strange love scenes. If we skip ahead
Mm,
to, when she's eventually, spoiler alert, dying, we had the best time working together on those. I love the way she directs, so any chance to work with her is just the most delicious experience. I don't know how she does it, but she just says sort of a few suggestive
mm,
words that paints the scene without she inspires one's creativity,
right.
and but not in a way that is sort of like reprimanding, but one that is done in a way to nurture, and it feels safe to explore. It's just a pleasure and an honor to work with her, and so that was kind of an extension of it, and it brought back a lot of memories to when we had actually done that scene. So
Right.
it was great.
That's awesome. And, I want to talk about this subject. I've talked about it on the last couple of shows that we've done, specifically because the last couple of actors we've had on have all been Metal Gear voice actors, in addition to other things. And this is in regards to John Seigen's performance.
Mm.
One of the downfalls of the show is I never got to have John on before he passed, and I think about that all the time. I should have sent him an email. I have plenty of contacts. There could have been some way to get in touch with him, and the performance that he had in that game, I'm sure you playing them have seen it. Just was really impactful. It was very different, and it was the only game that he really got to be in, and he was the big bad guy. As we look at the future here, they're remaking the third Metal Gear. There's rumors of them remaking the first. When it comes to two, what is your opinion on his performance there? Do you think that they should try and use those original recordings if they have them, or we've had some people suggest maybe somebody that was close to John, that is a voice actor, do their version of his character? What's your thoughts on things like
I
that
don't
as we progress in?
I don't really have a gut instinct on that. I'm not sure if, I mean, it would seem to me to reuse what was so majestic and lovely in the past, if it is possible. I just don't know if the parameters of the new technology could embrace that, or if you would
Yeah.
need to sort of redo it at a different level. So I'm not really familiar with all the details of the upgrade or the
Okay.
redo to speak on that. And I wish he could redo it if
Yes.
that were the case. But if they do need it sort of redone for technical
Right.
reasons, hopefully I'm sure they'll find the right person. But whatever they decide, I trust them completely.
Okay.
Everything they've done thus far has been, just lovely. So,
Definitely.
I'm not worried about it. I know they'll
Well,
do the
that's good
right
to
thing.
hear. That's good to hear.
They'll do what makes the gameplay the most impactful for the player. And whatever that is, it's in our best interest to trust that they will do what is right by the player, I think.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
that's a good outlook
because
on it.
they always have. So I look forward to finding out what they do,
Right.
but I don't have a hit on the
Okay.
right way to do it.
Fair enough. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, so Metal Gear is a big topic now, right? Everybody
Mhm.
knows it now. Moving into some of your voice acting credits, you have stuff in Star Wars, which has been a big thing since
Mhm.
the 70s and 80s. So, when you landed your first role in Star Wars, what was that like for you? Were you a fan prior to voicing a character there, and then how's it been since then? Because you're in a ton of Star Wars stuff, so you gotta be in the know with somebody Star Wars related.
Yeah, well, yes, I have been a Star Wars fan for a very long time. Saw the first film in the movie theater. My parents deposited me in Colorado with my aunt and my cousins, and she took us to the space opera, and I was hooked from the very first moment.
Awesome.
I wanted to be Princess Leia, 100%. Tried to do the hair. It never looked quite as good, but it inspired me to be a better person. I was inspired by Luke Skywalker's story. I was
Mm.
inspired by Princess Leia's strength. I was inspired by their humor as they faced imminent dangers, and it gave me a way to go about managing the daily tasks of life.
Right.
I'm a fan of Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey, and any story that a character sort of steps up and rises to the occasion and embraces their ability to surprise themselves with their own strength. I find those things very moving. And so Star Wars has always been exactly that for me. And when I got the Hera thing, I fell to the ground. I was crying,
Oh,
hyperventilating. My
I
agent
love
thought
it.
we had to call a paramedic. Yeah, I just, I don't know, man. I was blown away. And it has been, I would say it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Why? Because I've made some of the most incredible friends that I will be friends with for the rest of my life. And I had already been
That's
going to
amazing.
yeah, I had already been going to Comic Cons and stuff like that on my own as a nerd, but to go now, I mean, I can't wait to go. Hopefully, I'm going to New York Comic Con this year. 10 years ago, this is the 10-year anniversary of Star Wars Rebels, and 10 years ago, I met all kinds of people there, and we went and got Vader tots together. And it's an annual thing that we do, and we're going to do it again this year. And it's as if no time has passed at all every time I see these people. So not only did it give me the chance to immerse myself in a fandom that I love, but it also, rather than being the only child who was alone with her Chewie action figure, I was suddenly surrounded by people who understand me and why I have all these figures in my house all over the place, because not everyone knows what's happening there.
Right.
So I felt
That's
like I found my people.
That's awesome. And you move from it seems like one big game to the next. We have Metal Gear kind of early on, and a couple of Star Wars, but then you're also the voice of the human female in World of Warcraft, and you also are a couple of other characters in that game as well. That has been going on for over a decade now. Um,
I think I'm Kerrigan in one of them.
I
Uh,
believe
Heroes
so.
of the Heroes of
Yes,
the
Hear the
Storm.
Storm.
Yeah.
That's the one. What's it been like when you pick up these iconic characters? You have Olga and your Mandalorian character from Star Wars, this
Yeah.
character from World of Warcraft. Does it ever become kind of hard to remember which voice goes where, or have you kind of perfected that craft?
Uh, well, it's sort of like, do you remember what your aunt sounds like versus your pharmacist versus, I mean,
Right.
yeah, I know how my aunt talks. I know how my pharmacist sounds. I know they're real full-bodied individuals, and I do recall, I mean, there may be sort of nuanced differences, but like the
Sure.
character of Dune, like it's pretty hard to forget.
That one. Yeah.
uh, Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think there's a very neutral place in my voice that perhaps is for a female hero, w- through which I access perhaps the best parts of myself,
Okay.
which may be redundant given that I'm but one person, but there are varying degrees of heart and soul and mind in each one of them, and I vaguely recall sort of where their voices are located in my body
Okay.
and in my soul, and exactly how much of my background I brought to those characters. Some of them, like Mary Jane in Spectacular Spider-Man, was based on a friend that I met on a retreat. And I was like, oh, I almost did an audition for it
Hmm.
because I was like, I'm never going to get this. And I thought, well, all right, I guess I'll do her voice. And I did. So I know exactly what she sounds like.
That's
And
awesome.
so it's easy to go to who she is because that's just how she sounds. That's my friend. So you know what I mean? It's like if
That's awesome.
you know who they are. But if you get into the finer points of like Wonder Woman versus Hera
Hmm.
versus Black Widow versus even Black Canary, there may be differences. Like Gamora, also green, uh, like Hera, but Gamora is more of a warrior, and her voice is located sort of lower in my register, lower in my
Sure.
her thinking place is sort of down in here, as opposed to Hera is more in her heart. Wonder Woman is all about her ethics and her values, very, very much heart centered. So,
Right.
uh,
I think
yeah.
that's a really good point. When we look at stuff like Metal Gear, very cinematic, like we talked about, it's really focused on like dialogue and the characters. When we talk about Black Canary, Injustice 2, and even you're in, I believe, Mortal Kombat as well.
Oh
Uh,
yes, yeah. I'm
those
gonna play
games,
that with Kari Walgren's coming over
that's awesome.
someday
Uh,
in April. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we'll definitely have to keep an eye out for that one. But those games started out as non-cinematic at all. They were just about the fighting, and then now over time they've progressed and have these like deep characters. What was it like getting the Injustice 2 role for Black Canary? Did you find yourself doing a lot more? I believe you guys call them efforts, since it's a fighting game, as opposed to maybe something more cinematic, or because of this transition, did you have a little bit of both?
Well, I remember for those sessions we had mocap facial capture gear on, which
Very
looks like
cool.
almost like a beer pong hat or something,
Hmm.
or go to a game and they have sort of beer things. Uh, it's similar, except it's a flashlight shining right in your
Hmm.
eyes and a camera. So like you're trying to read past those things, blinded by light, trying to act normally as whomever. So there were other parameters for that record that yes, there were definitely many more effort sounds. But also the way it was recorded was completely different. So that had its own set of challenges. And um, ultimately, I'm blown away by how great the game looks. I just
Yeah.
think it's incredible. Yeah.
Definitely. And as we progress up this list, the credits and the acting and the games, they just all get much better. You've had a really awesome career. I enjoyed your work in the Star Wars Squadron as
Oh,
well.
thank you. I
Ver-
haven't played that one yet. That's another one I'm going to play on one of my Star Wars nights. Yeah.
Very cool. Yep, that really did like that one. But then you're in Marvel as well. Is it ever? I don't know if daunting is the right word, but is it does it ever make you nervous when you go in and you're like it's a very recognizable IP like Marvel or Mortal Kombat, or are all those jitters gone for you now?
Well, I think there are always jitters. There are always jitters for no matter what it is. And I think it's not because of, I think it's because I care
Hmm.
and I want it to be true to whether it's the comic book or I just want to live up to, Star Wars Rebels had its own set of,
Very iconic show.
well, yeah. And it was the first thing that, after Disney bought the franchise, it was the first thing to be tested to say like, well, where are we heading
Hmm.
now? And so there was a little bit of jitters, for all of us going into that. But ultimately, I think when you bring sort of a loving, fun spirit to it all the jitters kind of melt away and you just get to work. and do your job, and it all kind of pans out. But I am more aware of the number of critical eyes that will be
Mm,
on it. It is a more well-known IP, but at the same time, I trust that I was hired for a reason. I was
of
asked to be
course.
there. I belong there, and I'm just gonna play full out without apology and be present. And that seems to be the solution through any kind of fear.
Right. And I like that answer. I think a lot of the voice actors that we've had on the show are maybe not as in depth as you, as like involved in the character, like doing your game nights and things like that. But they all care about their characters. Like Quentin, he says he's not a gamer, but he knows everything needs to know about Raiden and all of the other characters that he plays. Occasionally, we get a voice actor who's like, I don't remember any of that. This is just a job. So it's kind of refreshing to hear
Mm.
you care about the characters that much. And it makes a really big emotional impact with these fans. I can't tell you the amount of times that, when I'm talking to voice actors like yourself, where they'll tell me, I went to a convention and this person told me, I saved their life that summer because they played a game that they voiced, and it was inspirational to them. And the way you guys bring these characters to life is really commendable. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Thank you.
everything that
Yeah.
you do for us.
Well, I am deeply grateful, and that does mean a lot, because I mean, half the time we do these things, they have code names. It's just NDA, 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 and so I've said this before. I'm also in Mass Effect, and Courtney
Yes,
Taylor coming over in April to play that with me.
awesome.
I've gotten it to the Jack part, but I was asked to a Mass Effect event, and I said, "Why are you asking me?" And they said, "You're in all three games."
Your couple of
I
characters
am.
and a couple of side
I
characters and Ibra, I believe is her
had
name.
no idea. Had no idea. I didn't know what that was, because when we went to do it, it was called something else, like sparkling water. I don't know. And I'm like, "Oh, that's what sparkling water was. I remember sparkling water, but I didn't know it was that franchise." What? So I'm
Wow.
sometimes last to know what I've been in. I have to Google myself frequently to be like, "Wait, is that what that code name was? Oh, that's awesome. Good to know." Yeah.
Very cool. Well, to wrap up, we got a couple of kind of quick fire questions, and some of these come from the community, so we don't spend a ton of
Oh,
time on
cool.
them.
Great.
One of them, once this was asked by multiple people, and that is there a franchise that you're eyeballing that you're currently not in that you would like to be in?
Um, hmm.
It's a hard question because you're in a
Well, you know
ton of
what?
stuff.
I haven't been in any of the Fortnite games.
That would be
Uh,
cool.
yeah, that would be so dope, especially if they wanted to do, because I know there are Star Wars characters. I've never played Fortnite. I want to, but I've watched people play on
Right.
Twitch. And like I saw Anakin playing bass or guitar or something. I was like, man, that would be so dope if they needed any of my characters that I've done in the various franchises, Hera or the Mandalorian chick, or
They
you know,
just
I
had Metal Gear Solid characters put in there. Snake and Raiden.
oh man, that would have been amazing. I would have loved that. Yeah.
I think that's cool. That I think that would be fitting to you have, like I said, just so many to choose from. They really could get any of these iconic characters.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool.
The next question is, this one is also a community question, and that is, do you have a genre that you prefer to act in, or is any genre kind of open for you? Horror,
Well,
action.
I love them all. I must say though, it was so much fun to be on Rick and Morty and play Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And I have a
Awesome.
stand-up comedy background. I have a sketch comedy background, and I present as like a functional adult, but I'm actually just like, you could ask my friends. Will Friedle, in the middle of taping Guardians of the Galaxy, he looked at me and he goes, "You're just an 8-year-old boy, aren't you?" And I was like, "You got me pegged, bro. Let's go." Like I'm just like bouncing off the walls. Like I have no shame. The one on camera character that I had on Scrubs,
Mm.
I was Becky, the nurse intern or whatever. I wore an Incredible Hulk t-shirt, like Lou Ferrigno, like "Argh," like that. I had polyester shorts, knee-high socks. I looked like a gym teacher, like not the good kind, and I was just like completely aggro. And I played basketball and was like, I don't know. That's just not a look you ever want to go out in public. Like, trust me,
Okay.
nailed it and had so much fun. And if you Google the Scrubs episode, I think it's in the second, there's the pilot and it's in the episode after. You can watch me play basketball the way I'm describing, and you'll be like, what are you doing? That's who I am. Like when there's irreverent comedy, I'm all over
Mm.
it.
Very
I
good.
actually, I just did something for Crapopolis on Fox, which is their new show that'll be coming out. I'm not sure when, but it was more of the same kind of not slapstick comedy, but it's more broad
Okay.
and um, I don't often get to be silly, and I do enjoy that. So
Very nice. This one comes from Steven from our Discord, and he wants to know which character that you've played is most closest to Vanessa. Which one is
Hera,
that one's you?
100% Hera.
Uh,
Yeah.
and is
Um,
is that a just kind of how the writing kind of took
I
you,
think,
or when you did the voice,
well,
did it kind of connect with you that way?
here's the thing. Like I said, only child. I'm single. I care about everybody very much. And I am kind of a space mom. And I'm also Italian. So if anyone's hungry within a 4 mile radius of me, I'm feeding them. I mean, the construction workers down there, it's been taking the strength of God not to go bring pizza. I know it's not my job, but that's who I am.
That's
Hera
awesome.
has a Hera has a deep concern for the lives of others. Hera also forewent or well, she had priorities. Work was her
Hmm.
priority. And I learned a lot from her. I am on my grind 24 hours a day. People say to me, like, do you ever sleep? Not really. I love connecting with people. I love telling stories. I love working. But the thing is, there's not a lot of time for a social life.
Right.
So I don't, much the same way, spoiler alert, Hera, didn't get a chance to connect with Kanan and said, I just thought there would be more time.
Mm.
I see a lot of
Wow.
that in myself. I learned from that, and it made me really try and circle back and let people know how much I care about them. It makes a difference to let people know that they matter. And sort of part of what I'm doing here on a weekly basis is to let people who chill in my stream with me,
Hmm.
to let them all know that they matter. And it's a way to hang out and take that time for work-life balance, to have fun and breathe. And I think Hera learned that the hard way, but I saw a lot of myself in that. At that point, I was working all the time. And I mean, I still do more on personal stuff now because I'm not doing
Hmm.
two cartoon series
Right.
simultaneously. Um, but I definitely am a space mom,
I love how
and
fast you like knew that was the person. That's awesome.
oh yeah,
That's great.
definitely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, her ability, I'm more 8-year-old boy ADD. I mean, I don't have ADD, but like, ooh, shiny beads. Hera
Okay.
is probably more focused. I wish I were as focused as Hera, but I do feel that I have the capacity to focus like she did.
Okay.
So it does reflect a part of me, but I am also quite silly. So,
That's great.
uh,
I love it.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, to wrap up, I want to give you a chance to talk about where we can find you again. Your anything upcoming in the next couple of days, this weekend, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Use this,
absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much.
of
Yeah,
course.
so if you want to come hang with me on Twitch, if it's Twitch .tv/ Vanessa Marshall 1138. Same as my Instagram handle. You can come follow me there, and all the information is there. There's links in the bio. Vanessa Marshall 1138. Over on Twitter, I'm at Van Marshall. This coming Wednesday, as I said, I have Erin Fitzgerald coming, and we're
Oh,
playing
she's
Diablo
great.
4. Yeah,
She's awesome.
we're gonna play Diablo 4, and I believe the week after that, Zara Fuzzle is coming. We're going to play the Suicide Squad, the Kill the Justice League. She's Wonder Woman in that. And then, well, Courtney Taylor was supposed to come the week after that. But anyway, we're going to have all kinds of incredible voiceover women on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. on my Twitch channel. And this coming weekend, I will be in Indianapolis, if anyone's there, at the Indiana Comic Con. And I should be there with Taylor for any of those Star Wars fans. But if you're anywhere near Indianapolis, I know it's March Madness and all that, but do come hang and say hi. I'll be signing, and I'm sure there's panels and stuff like that. I don't have my schedule yet, but anyway, yeah, there's all kinds of conventions that I'm going to. You can find them all on my website, vanessamarshall.com. And in fact, if you go to vanessamarshall.com, all the links to Twitch and everything, they're all there for you. And as a matter of fact, I am teaching voiceover on Skills Hub,
awesome.
Which you can also find on my website as a way to give back. So if you have questions for voiceover stuff, hit me up anytime. I'm here to help.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. I'll be sure to, like I said in the beginning, to have links to all that down below. So if you guys are interested, check it out. Check out the website. That seems like it has everything there, but we'll have individual links down below. Before we let you go, every voice actor we have, we got to ask you to do an intro for us. Would you mind doing an intro for us?
Not at all.
Okay.
Also, I do want to say, please come hang at MGS Con July 20th.
Yes.
At the Hilton in Long Beach. If you can't make it in person, you can also join us virtually, and you can be a part of all the panels. So we can all be together on July 20th. So I look forward to that.
For sure. And we got to get you guys one on the East Coast so that I can go.
Yeah. Yes, please.
All right.
I'm working on it. Do you want to put it in the chat? What you want me to say?
Yeah, sure. It's fairly simple. Let me see if I can. Where's chat?
I know it's so hard to find.
I got so many things up for the recording and the mic monitor and all. Oh yeah, it's fine. I found it though. So it's pretty simple. This is Vanessa Marshall and your regular voice. And then if you could go to Olga, voice of Olga, and you're watching the codec.
Okay. Do you want any Dr. Strangelove or just Olga?
Maybe we can do one Olga, one Strangelove, and then one of your choice, maybe your Star Wars character.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Vanessa Marshall, voice of Olga. I grew up on the battlefield. Conflict and victory were my parents. And you're watching the Codec.